So I'm at the teepee, and why am I? Because my grandmother was Anishinaabe. So when I'll say hello to you all, and I'll say hello to you, Buzo means hello in Anishinaabe, and Gwai in Mi'kmaq, and Yauts, Nagwa in the Haisla Nation. If you see what I'm wearing, it's not a costume. It's actually called a regalia. And as you can see, it's the regalia of the Haisla people, where I learned how to make my drums. So I actually do teach people how to make drums. I do drums. We have drums from all over the world. And every drum has a soul. So to make the soul sing, of course, you have to play the drum. And I'll talk a little bit about drumming, but I'll take any questions later. But the reason I'm here today is about simplicity. How to make your life simple again. Because, like I say, before I retired, I was the head of occupational health and safety in Nalcan smelter in Kitimat. So I was responsible for 1,800 souls and taking care of them both physically and mental sense through the whole thing. So, and I love doing it because my life is of service. I love helping people because by helping people, you actually help yourself. So that's important to do in your life, even if it's just a small thing. By giving a smile, everything is helpful. So I decided to retire when my numbers came up. So I retired and I moved here. I had a vision that my mother, God rest her soul, she said, Reg, enough to see sunsets where I was in the west. Time to see sunrises. So I'm retired here in New Brunswick in a place called Tuawaso, which is just outside of Kapolei, a beautiful home. So what I went from I had 2 houses there in BC, in Kitimat, and we sold them both and decided to live simply. Why? Why have the big things that you don't really need in life? Why make yourself stressed? You want to, when you get older, you want to simplify your life, but you don't have to be old to want to simplify. All you need in your life is actually just to think of the old ways. The old ways, remember that your grandparents, whether you be First Nations or not, the old ways are tried, trusted, and true. We spend too much time in the technical world with I don't know how many people here could get along for even 2 hours without their smartphones, right? Your smartphones are become sort of like your extended leg, and that another leg that you have on you, right? But if you go back and think about how it was for your grandparents or even your great-grandparents, all they had to worry was about the simple things in life. They didn't have to worry about chemicals in their food. All the food was organic. Everything was organic. You know, and there's a lot of people in this world are trying to get back to that again. And why? Because it's a true sense of healing for your body, mind, and spirit. For me, it's been so important to learn the old ways, the 7 sacred teachings. For me, the 7 sacred teachings are a way of reawakening your spirit, reawakening your soul. If you don't know the 7 sacred teachings, I'll explain them to you just a little bit, because there's many teachings on this. And the first one, of course, is love. When you love, the important person that you have to love first is yourself, right? It's so important to love yourself. It's so important to love everyone around you. The hardest thing, there's a Mi'kmaq elder named Joey Paul. I learned how to love except for Stephen Harper. and he said, Reggie, you can't go on in your journey unless you learn to love Stephen Harper. So actually, I really did learn to love, when he was still in power, to learn to love Stephen Harper, and actually that freed me up, because it's like having a little kid. You can love them with who they are, but not what they do. So in a sense, love is very strong. It's the strongest emotion in the universe. Not just in this world, but in all worlds, be it a spiritual, physical, or a mental world, because with love, actually, as the song goes, it does make the world go around. No, nothing was more powerful than love. And it's important that you love Mother Earth. It's important that you love Father Sky. It's important also that you love our brothers and sisters. Now, our brothers and sisters, you're all my brothers and sisters, but so are all the creatures that crawl, all the creatures that walk, all the creatures that fly, whether they be two-legged or four-legged. They're all our family. We are all one here together. We're actually standing when they stand. When I stand on the ground, actually, if you concentrate hard enough and you're meditating, you can actually feel the pulse of Mother Earth. And that's a beat, is it not? And that's why the drumming for me is so important. That we have drums from all over the world, and we love to share them. So the other thing I would talk about is actually, well, love is the first of the 7 sacred teachings that I've been taught. The second is honesty. Now, when you want to be honest, you want to be honest with everything you say. You want to be honest with everything you do. Be it love in your heart, being honest to say that, yes, I did that. I'm sorry I was wrong. Because you're not always right. We like to be always right, but that's not the way it is. And to have the courage, to have the honesty to say, I'm wrong, and be honest with yourself, because you can't run away from yourself. It's important that you're so honest with those that you love and those that you meet. Be honest, and you live a happier life. All these things I'm talking about are keys to live happy. And that's all we really want out of life. We don't need the big cars or the grand trucks. What we need is to be happy. We look for happiness in all kinds of ways when it's actually right in front of us. It's very, very simple. Nature does have the answers for us. All we've got to be able to do is be able to look at what we're, not just look, but actually see, and not just hear, but actually listen. And you will grow, and you'll have an understanding that you didn't know have before. The next sacred teaching I want to talk about actually is respect. So respect, again, everything starts with yourself. So you respect yourself. You respect your elders. I see that too often these days, that unless you're First Nations or some of the other minorities in this country, most people don't respect their elders. I see too many elders just tucked away, sent away into a senior's home, and never see their kids once a month. And it's so saddening because I when I go and see to in the Haisla First Nation or any First Nation, the elders are not only front and center, they're the teachers. And they'll always be the teachers because they have this knowledge. They have this knowledge to give us all, but we have to be willing to listen. If you're not willing to listen, you're not going to know. And we'll lose some of these teachings forever. No matter how hard you think, we'll lose them forever. And once they're gone, they're gone. So, love, honesty, and respect. Which is interesting about the word respect. I have again another Mi'kmaq elder named Red Feather that I know. He said, Reg, I want you to take the word respect out of your life. Don't respect things. Instead of using the word respect, I want you to use the word honor. So you honor someone instead of respect them. You honor Mother Earth. You honor Father Sky. To have that honor in your life is so important. And honor and respect are the same thing. The next one I would like to talk about actually is courage. And when I talk to the children, as Annie had mentioned, I talk to the children about this when I do teachings with the children. It's the courage to do the right thing when no one else is. It's the courage to stand up for somebody that's being oppressed. It's the courage to be yourself. And that's so important in this world. It's so easy to follow somebody else's lead. It's so easy to be the sheep. But it takes courage to be yourself. And that's so important in this day and age. The other thing I'd like to talk about is humility. I'm going to spend a little time with this because humility is knowing that you don't know everything, right? A wise man has much to learn, whereas a fool knows it all. When we talk about humility, I'm going to give you a small teaching Anishinaabe legend. And this legend starts in the long ago time, before any man was on this earth. In those days, there was actually everything could talk to each other. The squirrel could talk to the tree to the bird to the bear. They could all talk with each other thanks to the Great Spirit. There was this one winter, it was very cold. The north wind was very fierce. To imagine how cold it was so cold that the branches on the trees were cracking and breaking. Now you can imagine how cold that would be just to have that coldness to break the branches on the trees. So what happened was there was this young chickadee, and he was freezing to death, and he wanted to go in the shelter of a tree so he would save his life. So the first tree he comes to is actually the tamarack. And most of you know what a tamarack tree is. If not, then just ask. But the tamarack was a nice, young, strong tamarack tree. And he says, "No, you go away. I'm young and strong. I can't bend my branches down to help you." Because the chickadee wanted to bend his branches and hold him back to the north wind. But no, he says, go. And so the chickadee kept on going along the snow and finally meets a pine tree. The old pine tree, had been around for a very long time. And the pine tree, he asked the same question, "Will you protect me from the north wind?" And the old pine tree had been through many years of the cold, so he said, "Yes." So he bent his branches down and protected it. So after this, the Great Spirit went to the tamarack, and he asked him, "Why? Why did you not help the little chickadee?" And the tamarack said, "Well, he would have died anyway, so why should I waste my time?" Then he went to the pine tree and he asked him the same question. And the pine said, "Well, because I've been through this before. I know what it's like, so I bend my branches down." So now, to this day, the tamarack will lose. It's the only conifer that will lose all its needles in the wintertime. And why? It was a teaching from the Great Spirit that you will now feel the cold of winter. And to this day, actually, the pine tree has its branches lowered so it does protect all the animals that are underneath it. This is the teaching from the Anishinaabe legends. And like I say, it's humility, right? So if you're proud, you're not going to be humble. You can't be both at the same time. There's two more that I'd like to talk about. Trust. So trust is having faith in yourself. It's having faith in the unseen. It's having faith in spirit. No matter who you may be, whether you be Catholic, whether you have Allah, whether you have Jesus, whether you have the Great Spirit like I do, they're all one and the same. They teach you the same thing about love, compassion, and understanding. So all you have to do is actually, I surrendered myself to Spirit. And that's for me, that's a path to happiness. To surrender myself to spirit, I've had to unlearn a lot of the things I've learned through my life. I'm in my 60s now, and what I've had to learn is that man is the top of the ladder. There's nothing higher than us, right? But why do you say that when it's not true? We're all equal here. You're all my brothers and sisters here. There's no one that's better than anyone else. When I do a drum circle, it's actually a circle. In a circle, everyone is equal. There's no one better than the other. That's the way life is. Life is exactly that same way. So it's to have that trust and understanding and compassion in your life. It's so important. The last one is wisdom that I want to speak about when it comes to the 7 sacred teachings. And wisdom, again, is a wise man does not know it all, has much to learn, whereas a fool knows everything. So it's important that you be wise enough to know that there's so much to learn, because I'm learning so much about about being Ashnabi, about being a person. And it's what gives me strength every day is the fact that I keep the inner child inside of me. You remember when you were young, just a little kid, and how you got up in the morning and you're jumping up and down and saying, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? And when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you got up first thing in the morning and say, wow, here we go again? So what you want to do is keep the inner child within you. Don't lose that inner child. It's you can't believe how it changes your life just to have that, be blessed enough to have that inner child inside of you. And it's so important that you understand that. And like I say, to reawaken, you actually have to unlearn. And you have to unlearn the fact that we are not the superior. We are all equal. We are all one.